Hello everyone, Zane Bradshaw here, founder and CEO at Acquirely.io. So in this video, I want to show you guys the realistic statistics when it comes to outbound marketing. Some of you, might be wondering if outbound will work for you, and I'm going to show you in this video why outbound marketing fails for many people and what the difference maker is. And it's something pretty interesting, but this is the reason why we are able to make outbound marketing work and how we're able to create those 10, 15, 20 x ROAS, right? So return on ad spend. So basically turning $1 into anywhere between $10 to $20 in return. Okay, so I'm going to show you right now. So there's something called a sales cycle. If you are anywhere between $3 to $10 million per year in annual recurring or reoccurring revenue right now, then you'll probably know what a sales cycle is, right? Most likely for, generally for a higher ticket type of sale, anywhere between, $5,000 to $50,000 for a package, you're looking at a typical 6 to 12 month sales cycle, okay? Anywhere between that range, sometimes a little bit higher. And so this is where a lot of businesses go wrong. They have instant gratification needs and they're not able to actually let the numbers play out. It's something called statistical significance. And so essentially what that means is, I'll show you right over here, right? The sales cycle typically for a B2B high ticket type of offer is these type of stats right over here. These are realistically the conversion stats that you should be looking at. So if we're looking at, most of the time we're looking to make a sale within the first 7 days, right? But the reality is only 2% are actually going to close within 7 days. And subsequently, only 4% additionally, okay, are going to close within the first month. All of the rest, so this is assuming you have a closing rate of 20%, okay? Which you can see over here. Overall, over the first year, you're looking at 20%. But you see, there's an industry standard KPI of 20%. Now, don't get me wrong, 20% is quite low. I'm using it as an example in this video to showcase like it should never be anything less than this. But some of you guys are experiencing, 10, 12, 15% closing rates, and you're thinking that it's low. Well, the reality is you're probably only looking at it on a 3-month time horizon. And as you can see in these stats right over here, the 3-month expected realistic closing rate is actually only 14%. The other 6% is waiting between month 6 to 12. Okay? And so this is the difference maker, guys. It's the ability to have the KPIs actualize, okay? And so that is really key here. Now, I built out this sales cycle calculator so you guys can really see firsthand what this looks like. So month 0, just by the way, we're starting outreach on month 1, but month 0 is warm up, okay? So outbound is a long-term game, okay? It's a long-term investment. It's I don't want to say high risk, high reward. It's incredibly high reward, right? You're able to essentially do marketing, a fixed cost to acquire a customer of 5 to 7% of revenue, which is incredible, right? It's basically a 15 to 20x return on your money on your fixed costs that you have to pay to run the system. And all the rest is totally risk-free in the sense of rev share, right, for the team. It's basically commission-based. So it's very, very high reward. The caveat to that is it's not for tiny businesses who have very fluctuating revenue and cannot afford to wait 3 to 6 months to actually start seeing results. If you need results within the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you cannot afford to even wait, if you cannot realistically wait 3 to 6 months to achieve success, you're probably not having the right mindset for success. And so, I don't recommend outbound for you. because that's, I don't even recommend business for you because that's not really how businesses work. Successful businesses think in decades, and this is really not even thinking in years. But realistically, it's said that outbound typically takes 1 year to ramp up, and the reason why, as we can see right over here, 3%, okay, out of the 20% is waiting on the 12-month mark. Okay, that's why we can see over here what this looks like in reality is this sale is only going to add here. So month one's outreach is only going to add here for the last sale. Okay, and so that's why you can see a big jump. This is on a small system, so let's just bump it up to the $3 million per year system. Definitely not that. So this is for like 500 appointments per month. Okay, you can see over here between month 6 to 11, it's around $3.3 million per year ARR. Okay, and then month 12, it bumps up to around $4 million ARR. And the reason why is because we have this extra $50,000 that was, warmed and nurtured from month one's outreach, right? But it's only actualizing in month 12. Okay, all the rest come in, within 2 to 6 months. But that last one is the last 3%, right? It's about, and that's 3% out of 20%, which is around 15% of, actualized from the sales cycle, okay, of overall conversion rates. So if you do have a conversion rate of 25-30%, then that's still going to be 15% of that 30% conversion rate, okay? But as we can see, the stats look pretty incredible. It's not bad in any way, right? It's quite incredible. So we're looking at, this is if, we're doing a safe figure of 500,000 outreaches. We're doing 125,000 unique leads and 3 follow-ups for each, okay? And so we're looking at 500 email accounts. This is a scaled system. So you come to us, you're like, hey, we need a system that can do 3 million ARR. We'll be like, okay, we're going to build this for you. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to build you an infrastructure, install it in-house, and train the entire team that is able to do, not just the outreaches, but book a certain amount of appointments based on your KPIs, okay? So we'll reverse engineer your current statistics that you have been experiencing for the past 6 months due to your statistical significance, okay, your actualized KPIs and stats, and then we'll be like, okay, you want 3 million ARR, you're getting this much ACV, average cart value, you're getting this much LTV. We don't really work with LTV, we only work with average cart value because this is upfront revenue, right? So essentially what this is 90-day revenue, okay, per customer, or average cart value, okay? So I like to look at ACV for this reason, okay? And so LTV is typically going to be, 12-month LTV is typically going to be 2 times ACV, okay? And then 24-month LTV can typically be 3 times ACV, which is the upfront revenue within 90 days, okay? So, essentially, if you want an outbound system, this is how we do it, right? We pretty much run these stats, and you say, okay, we need to, increase our top line revenue by 3 million. We need to base that off of ACV. So we're going to come and say, okay, well, you need this many appointments. So we're going to build you an infrastructure that has this many appointments. In this example, this infrastructure specifically would generate 500 appointments per month, right? And assuming the ACV is $5,000. So this is a very normal ACV. I'm using a very conservative one. We've seen ACVs of anywhere from $13,000 to $15,000 and above, depending on ticket price. Okay, and then incorporating other things like fractal upsells, which is essentially every upsell step you have it 5 times higher than the initial step. So essentially, you can double your ACV every time you add a fractal upsell. Okay. in our case, we have 3 fractal upsells. Okay, so we have our $5,000 a month agency package, then we have a $30,000 infrastructure, and we have a $150,000 infrastructure that can add millions per year in revenue, right? Which will essentially be this infrastructure right here that can add about $4 million a year. Okay, now, basically, as you can see, guys, if you're going to come with a short-term mindset looking at 3 months, I'm going to let you know you're not going to be very happy, okay? Because this is not how professionals come in and think, okay? If we're looking at month one we're starting. We have a lot of ramping up to do. And let me tell you why. When it comes to acquisition, okay, you have marketing and you have sales. Now, specifically with Outbound, you have multiple links in the chain that need optimizing. And so even if you get marketing dialed in, that is when the sales cycle starts. So let's reverse that for a second. Let's invert this and say, well, if we're looking at these sales cycle statistics, this is only going to begin, okay? It's only going to begin once marketing has begun. Once marketing is at where it needs to be, okay? This is the stats from when the appointment is attended, okay? So from the day that the appointment is attended, these stats kick in, okay? Obviously, this is going to fluctuate per business, but this is the baselines, typically, that any business should be able to see, okay? It's conservative stats. But again, these only kick in after the appointment. And so the appointment is still delayed from marketing, right? And that doesn't matter what marketing channel you use. Even if you use paid ads, you're still going to need time to optimize everything. You have to optimize the messaging. You have to optimize the call out. You have to optimize the ads. You have to test multiple ads to see which one is going to, be a home run for a little bit of time, right? Because not all of them are going to be hits, right? Some are going to be very unprofitable. And so that's not even outbound advice. That's just marketing in general, right? And so that's why sometimes we see much longer sales cycles than what we anticipated. And really what that translates to is high expectations, right? Incorrect alignment from expectations to reality, right? And that's because you're working with a macro chain, which is marketing linked to sales, right? It branches over to sales. So they compound, they influence each other. You have to wait for marketing to optimize before you can even start the sales cycle and optimizing the sales process, okay? And then the same thing is true on a micro level, right? Which is everything that comprises of the department of marketing. And then everything that comprises of the department of sales, right? And so when you combine all of those things, that is what comprises of the overall acquisition cycle, okay? Which is the marketing cycle combined with the sales cycle. And so we have to account for everything, guys. When it comes to outbound, we have to account for the time it's going to take for warm-up. If we're not going to do that, we're just being naive, okay? And we're going to set a high expectation, and then reality is going to show you what the expectation should have been, right? So this right over here is very realistic, okay? Very realistic for anyone who is generating 500 appointments from 500,000 outreaches and doing at least $5,000 ACV. This is very realistically what you can look at timeline-wise, okay? And as you can see, it compounds because we're not stopping, right? This is the outreach from month one. This is the outreach from month two. We're doing 500,000 in each one, okay? So they're stacking, they're compounding, right? That's why, as you can see, so this is really cool because we can see, well, Zane, how long is it going to take? If you're asking this question, how long does it take to get outbound to KPI? Well, I can show you very quickly right over here. Boom, this is KPI, right? And it's 90% KPI. If you take all of these, that's 90% of 20. So 17 is 90%. So it should be 17 divided by 20 times 100, there, 85%, okay? So by month 6, you're at 85% KPI. You'll hit 100% KPI at month 12, okay? But by month 6, you're already at 85% KPI, which is incredible, right? Most businesses, it doesn't matter what marketing channel you're in, because this is irrelevant of a marketing channel. This is the sales cycle, okay? Every single business, pretty much, unless you have a very strange way of collecting money that you never follow up with customers, which I highly do not recommend. Every single business, okay, will have 85% of the sales cycle by month 6. Okay, that's just how it works. So this is not exclusive to Outbound. It doesn't matter what marketing channel your business currently operates with. This is probably what you guys are experiencing. Okay, so there's no difference essentially when it comes to Outbound. The only difference will be the 1 to 2 months it will take to get the system ramped up, which is very worth it for halving your marketing costs. So I would say that's not bad, right? So yeah, I mean, these are the stats right here, guys. It's pretty exciting. I love seeing stats like this, which is like, okay, cool. It's worth it, right? And knowing upfront, one of the biggest reasons a business or a person will succeed or fail at anything they do is how accurate their plan is. And most people do not know how to make an accurate plan. And that is why I love things like this, because it is as accurate as it gets. It's not some crazy numbers that we're just hoping are going to work. This is realistic, and this is actually, if you execute this, these are the results most likely within a 10% variance. This is most likely what you're actually going to achieve. Okay? And so making accurate plans is really important. And this right in front of you, ladies and gentlemen, is an accurate outbound plan. Okay, so if you were considering outbound and you're wondering like, well, how risky is it? Is it actually going to create results? Yes, it will. Okay, yes, it will. Just be willing to wait 3 to 6 months to get there. Okay, right over here. You can see how rapidly numbers increase between months 3 to 6. Okay. Yes, month 2, we should do some revenue for sure, okay? But months 3, 4, 5, 6, you're going to have the biggest quantum leap between months 3, 4, and 5. You can see that. Just a massive, massive quantum leap. We're talking, 50, 60%, 70, 80% increase in revenue between month 3 and 4. Like, it's just jumping, right? Exponential, right? In orders of magnitude, okay? And so it's incredible. So aside from the fact that it is linear growth, the other side is numbers don't lie. And when you put enough cause into the universe and into the marketplace, the effect has to play out. It has to respond, okay? The effect has to actualize. And so that's what we can see right over here. So I would look at these stats when you're considering outbound marketing. Ignore these first two. And so month 0, 1, and 2, which is essentially the first 3 months, 2.5 months, don't expect anything. Month 3, expect a little bit of something, but really expect 6 months coming in. Okay? If you're coming into us, you're asking us to build you the system, we're signing a 12-month contract. Why? Because that's how long it's going to take to get you to real KPI. And that's what we care about. We care about actual results, okay? Not giving you the bare minimum. So just so you know that, hopefully you guys found value in this explanation. And if you did, then let us know in the comment below. And if you are interested in a system like this, we will install it for you in-house and train your team for an entire year, okay? Head over to acquirely.io, book a call with our team. If you've already spoken to us, then just let us know. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys in another video.